Hi everyone, it's Natalie. In this interview that you're about to see, it centers around the Chateau Marmont's COVID-19 response in regard to its workers. So for those of you that don't know what the Chateau Marmont is, it's a landmark hotel in West Hollywood, Los Angeles. It's very well known, it's very wealthy. A lot of celebrities go there to stay. And during COVID-19, the hotel laid off nearly its entire working staff, many who have worked there for multiple years. You'll see in this interview, we talked to Walter. He was a worker there for more than 20 years, and a lot of the workers that were laid off were in his same position, worked there for 20, 30 plus years. And on top of them getting laid off, the hotel also did not continue health insurance for them. They also did not provide them with any severance pay, and they didn't guarantee for them to be hired back once the crisis of COVID is over. So here's the interview. We have 3 individuals who have been on the ground working on this issue. Here it is. All right, so today to talk more about this issue with the Chateau Marmont, I have 3 individuals here who have been working on the ground on this issue. I first want to start with Walter. If you could just introduce yourself and explain how you are related to this issue.
Yeah, hi. My name is Walter Almendarez. I worked for the hotel for 23 years. I did different departments. Valet, housekeeping, security, purchasing, you name it, 23 years. And we got fired on March with nothing.
Right. Wow. So you basically did like all the work to keep the hotel running. That's amazing. And for 23 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing your introduction. Ashley, I was also wondering if you could introduce yourself and how you are related to the issue.
Yeah. So I'm Ashley Gonzalez. I am a CLUE organizer, which is the Clergy and Laity United for Economic Justice. And I have been working with Ben and Walter on the Chateau campaign for, I'm going to say, about 3 months. And really what CLUE does is we bring churches into the mix and make sure that there are religious folk behind economic justice and really what it means to intertwine those two. So we're here to help support the Chateau workers in any way we can.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashley. And then finally, we also have Ben. Ben, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Ben Poor. I'm a community organizer with Unite Here Local 11. We're a labor union of hotel workers and a number of folks from other industries. And my role is to, like Ashley, bring community in to support the workers as they fight for justice in their workplaces. In addition to faith communities, I also work with local politicians and other community groups in the greater Los Angeles area.
Thank you so much. So now that we understand like the relationship with you all with this issue, I want to mostly direct this next question to Walter, as you were a worker at this hotel for so long. I just am curious if you can explain your experience with your employment at the hotel during COVID-19. So what exactly happened during coronavirus?
Yeah, well, not starting March, I would say February was kind of slow. Beginning of March was even a little bit more slow. So they're starting already forcing people to take vacation. And I was actually one of them. They told me that, they forced me to take 1 week off. And I said, okay. Then I got an email on March 19 saying that we were fired, and my last day was March 20. I felt, I couldn't believe it. Because I gave so much to this hotel, and not only me, my coworkers. There's people that have been there for 43 years, and those people are kind of like already like in their 60s. So it's really difficult for them to get a job. So I felt that the owner called us a family, and I felt with basic, simple email that he sent us to us, I felt like an insect. Like when an insect goes into your house and you want to get rid of it, you just open the door and do whatever it takes for you, to take it out. So I felt so bad, and for myself, for my coworkers. That was on March 19th. And then the pandemic continued, and most of the hotels lay off their people.
Right. And in addition to laying off like almost their entire working staff, many, like you mentioned, working there for 20, 30 plus years, I also saw that they didn't provide you guys with like health insurance during, a pandemic, and they also didn't give you all severance pay, and they didn't promise you guys rehiring. So I just wanted to ask you, with that considered, how has that affected you during this time?
Well, it affected me really deep, because I have at that time she was 7 months. Now she was 6. Now she's 9. I have a 9-month daughter. I have my wife. And we don't have health insurance at this moment still. So also, since he's fired us, we got together with some organization, and we start calling the city councilor people to pass a policy. Was really excited, because a bunch of people got together. We got together with my coworkers, and with the help with the organization Unite Here 11, the law was passed, I believe, on April 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. So now we have we can go back to work by law, by seniority. That was a relief, that we felt. But right now, in this pandemic that's still going on, is going, is growing. We still don't have health insurance. So right now, what we're trying to do is get the attention to the owner and tell them, look, you fired us 4 months ago, but you didn't give us anything. You didn't kept our health insurance, for us. So right now, in this pandemic, especially myself, that I have a daughter, I'm still worried. So that's what we're doing right now. We try to get the owner interest on us, for him to see that we still have enough health insurance.
I don't know. Some of your listeners might or viewers might be thinking it's awful, and it's a business. Like maybe hotels just don't give employees health care during these crises. That's just not true. We've looked and researched the practices at the other hotels up and down the Sunset Strip, right around the Chateau Marmont. Many of them are continuing to pay health insurance benefits for their workers that laid off. This is actually the norm in union and non-union hotels right now. So it really raises the question, why is the Chateau Marmont different, and why is this owner not doing this thing that his neighbors are doing?
Wow, thank you for adding that. That's really valuable information. And actually, that kind of goes to what I was going to ask next is, for those viewers that don't know much about this hotel, the Chateau Marmont, I was wondering if you all, especially Walter, since you work there, if you could give us more information on like what type of hotel is this? And you mentioned the owner, I believe his name is Andres Velas. I was wondering if you could kind of speak to that, like what type of hotel is it? And yeah.
Well, it's a hotel that people have been there, and they keep going. They keep staying in the hotel. They feel home, because the hotel has a history. The history is that you can go party at the chateau, and you can do whatever you want, and you're okay, And as an employee, that's our job, to feel the guests, to feel home, and that's why there's a lot of relationship with our hotel guests, because we have guests, coming for years. You know, the hotel is unique because, you know, it has the old-fashioned way. But yeah, people see the hotel like, oh wow, look at the Chateau Marmont. Yeah, let's go to the Chateau Marmont. But those people don't know how we been treating. You know, we haven't get a raise for the past 7 years. You know, we don't get paid well. You know, we do a lot of things. See, those people don't know that. You know, and I think this is the time for people to understand. Yes, it's a hotel. You feel, you know, welcome. You feel like, oh, it's like Disneyland. You know, we can do whatever we want, and you know, but they don't know how the employees are being treated, which is really the owner treated us really bad because, like I said, no raise for 7 years. I would say the only benefit we have is the vacation that you accumulate, and then you can have like a month and a half. But that's because you earn it. You know, that's the only thing we had as a benefit. You know, and people don't know that. People think that, oh, you must be getting paid well. No.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. And I mean, oh, Ben, did you want to add something?
I would just add one thing. I think Walter summed it up perfectly. Just a little color on the Chateau. I don't know where you were on February 9th. We heard Walter's timeline. At the Chateau that night, Beyonce and Jay-Z were hosting their Oscar after party. So this is a big celebrity endeavor spot, and it's been that way for a very long time. If you go on the website and just sort of, there's a section of quotes about how the Chateau Marmont talks about itself. They've actually taken this down since we started doing this organizing. But there's very few references to the staff. The only one was that the staff is usually invisible and contributes to the incredible experience that the guests have there, which I think is part of what Walter was saying. Like, if your staff is invisible, then it's easy to treat them like an insect and stomp on them on their way out the door. So
yeah,
again, that's a little bit about more who the Chateau is and how it thinks about itself.
absolutely. Yeah. And I was doing my research too, because I wanted to know exactly what type of hotel it was. And I was on their merchandise website. And I mean, the clothes go for, they have like cashmere sweatshirts that they sell for hundreds of dollars. And I saw like a Gucci sweatshirt that was like $1,500. And Andres Balaz, he owns like multiple hotels, right? And I think his net worth is like 700 million. So that's just, thank you for providing that context to the type of hotel it is. And I know a lot of celebrities go there as well. So I was also wanting to know, because all of you guys have been organizing so much and doing demonstrations for this issue. So Walter, you can go first, and then Ashley and Ben, if you guys want to add on after. I'm just curious, what kind of demonstrations and organizing have the workers been doing and community members been doing on this issue?
Well, you know, just to let you know, we came on the press right after he fired us, and he did a GoFundMe. You know, he has different hotels. He did a GoFundMe because he felt that we were attacking him, which is we were not attacking him. We were speaking out that, you know, how we were treating and how he treated us, you know, by firing us. So he did open a GoFundMe and he donated himself $100,000. I think totally he collect about, they said 300, but then they said 250. So not sure how much. And, you know, because we came on the press, we came and speak to the people. If you look on the other hotels, like the one in New York that is called the Mercer Hotel, since they didn't do anything, they didn't speak, they didn't come out on the press. I think, I don't know if he opened a GoFundMe or somebody did, but the only money that they collect was $20. Because, like I said, they didn't defend themselves. And then now, you know, we got together with the organization, with people helping us. You know, we've been doing a lot of stuff that, like I said, it's not attacking the hotel. We're just letting people know, you know, how the hotel was treating us. And, you know, that hotel, it looks really beautiful, but people don't know how people are treated inside, which is us. you know. So we got together with people. We came. We doing like protesting on by cars. You know, we be doing a lot of things, and we were getting a lot of attention to the owner so far. I don't know what, you know, he hasn't called us. We don't know when they're gonna open. Maybe Ben can help me out here with other stuff that we've been doing about.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll actually pass it to Ashley to talk about some of that. But just to connect two dots that I think we said, as Walter was talking about that GoFundMe and that the owner donated $100,000. To connect that to what you said, Natalie, earlier, his net worth is $700 million. So to just do a little math there, you know, if you're making $50,000 in a year, making the donation that he made would be the equivalent of giving $7. So it's not a ton of money. And again, that was only after the workers started saying, we'd like to be treated fairly. We'd like justice here.
Yeah. Ben, I love when you do that little connection because it helps bring that number into perspective. But yeah, just to kind of add on what we have been doing, I've been working with Ben a lot, and Ben actually created a community letter that we have been circulating and trying to get about 650 signatures on this letter. And so Clue has really been a part of that and a part of getting little groups together so that everyone can kind of hear from workers and really what's going on deeply in the hotel. And then from there, sign this letter so that we can really build community power and show eventually the owner that there's a lot of people behind the workers and that we really want to make sure that people are having their rights advocated for on a communal level. And I'll pass it back.
Yeah, I just wanted to emphasize what you just said. So you're basically saying that people watching this video can help, right? So can you clearly say like how they can help, what they can do?
Yeah, what's the best way for us to get a link out to your feed? Maybe we can put it in the body of the great. So there's a community letter that we're circulating for neighbors broadly defined to the Chateau Marmont that speaks to folks who have heard Walter's story, heard the story of his coworkers, and want to express their outrage that these workers have been treated this way. So we're collecting signatures. We're about a third of a way to our goal. And particularly folks in the entertainment industry, clergy, are two of the main buckets of people that we think the owner, Andre Balazs, really particularly cares about, but also numbers are strategic here. We want everyone to sign who feels a sense of outrage in this moment and wants to support these workers.
Amazing. So everyone go ahead and go to that link and sign it. Like Walter said, he said it beautifully, like these are just workers standing up for their rights in the workplace. It's not necessarily an attack on the owner or anything. It's just people standing up for their rights. So this is a way that you can help with workers like Walter. So please go ahead and do that.
I'd also add, if you'd like to do more, feel free to share the letter on your social media with your friends as well. And even more, if you, one of the other tools we've been using is if you feel like you'd like to have Walter or one of his fellow workers talk to a group of your friends, we've been creating community meeting spaces where you can bring together 10 of your friends and connect one-on-one, hear more of the stories, ask more questions specifically. So if that's of interest to you, can I share my email? Would that work?
Absolutely,
Can we put that?
yeah,
Great.
yeah, and I'll put text too. Yeah, go ahead.
Great. So it's just bpoor@unitehere11.org. The letter B, POOR @unitehere11.org.
Amazing.
Those are a couple ways. We've been putting on these food banks for Unite Here and Clue and the Office of Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas and a couple other groups have been working together to get farm fresh produce and deliver it to hospitality workers, the industry, not just that the Chateau, but more broadly has been decimated. Unite Here's membership, 95% of them lost their jobs in this crisis. So we've been providing a food bank, which is both, providing a material need, but also that it's staffed by Unite Here staff and Unite Here hotel workers who are volunteering their time to give back to their community in this way. And so it's both a material need, but also an organizing function of let's keep this going and keep folks engaged during this crisis.
So you mentioned, Walter, in one of your answers that there was a law passed that you are required by law to be able to go back to work. Can you talk more about the organizing behind that and what that law is?
Yeah, that law give us some relief. Yeah, the owner, when he decided to open completely the hotel, by law, he need to call us by seniority. That give us, like I said, some relief. We don't know when, we haven't heard anything when the hotel is gonna open. This moment, we just haven't get any result. We haven't heard anything. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but by law, he need to call us by seniority. And in case he decide to sell the hotel, the new owner has to rehire us. Not rehire us, but the same thing. He need to call us by seniority. I don't know if I want to say rehire us by seniority, but then yeah, that job is there. We just don't know when we're gonna be called.
Got it. Did Ben or Ashley, did you want to add anything else to that?
I'll just to add a little more context on that. Like Walter and the workers at the Chateau were really the face, I think, of this fight in Los Angeles City to make this happen. And they were mentioned in press conferences after it passed the city council. It was by no means guaranteed, but both they put a lot of work into connecting with city councilors, and the community made a lot of calls. In a broader context, Santa Monica has had a similar law on the books since after September 11th, when there's sort of a sort of comparable place. Since it passed LA City, it also passed in Long Beach. And then we want to fight to get the same law in all of LA County. And then we won the fight to get it in Pasadena, where it just passed, I think, last week. Mm-hmm. And it's also it just passed the state assembly in California. I was just double checking that at the end of June. And we're hoping that becomes law throughout all of California as well. So it started at this hotel, but now has both statewide ramifications, and also I know that in Massachusetts and in other states, they're looking at similar laws as well. So it's potentially having national impact, the fight that these workers are taking on.
Wow, that's incredible. If you could talk more about what Unite Here is and like the work that you do, if you want to speak to that, go ahead.
I'm happy to. So I've been with Unite Here about 3 months now, so I can't speak a ton, but I can say. So again, I'm on the community organizing side. Unite Here more broadly works specifically to organize hotel workers in fight for dignity and respect in the workplace. Two other things that I'd say about Unite Here is you might have seen our name back in, I think it was December. There was a Democratic debate going to be held at Loyola Marymount University. Loyola Marymount was in a fight with their workers. I believe they were food service workers on the campus, and all of the Democratic candidates refused to participate in the debate at Loyola Marymount until they resolved this conflict with the workers. And I think that just sort of speaks to the power of Unite Here, and particularly Local 11, a force to be reckoned with. They've also, the other reason that you might have seen Unite Here's name in the news lately is that the son of one of our members was killed by police, by sheriff violence recently. And so the union has been really calling out, connecting these struggles between assaults on workers in their workplace and the larger fight against police brutality in this moment. Like, very clear for, I think, our members. And so we've been calling on the county to pass the Care First budget and defund the LA Sheriff's Department. And maybe we can share the Unite Here statement as well at some point around all of that.
So Unite Here's work has also been like working in the sense of what's going to be going on next in the hotel industry. So we saw, Unite Here represents about 32,000 members in LA. And so when almost 95% of them were laid off because of COVID-19, they jumped in and really helped out making sure that people had unemployment insurance applications get through. And then now we're looking at like, what does it look like to reopen the hospitality industry? And recently we did a press conference with Unite Here, talking in front of the Board of Supervisors in downtown LA, really about like, well, are we really ready to open up? So I think the prediction was that we should be able to start opening up, but that was before we heard about the spikes in the cases in Los Angeles. And so now we're actually asking that we slow down the process of reopening. Although we really want the hospitality industry to reopen, we just want to make sure that it's done safely and making sure that people are following the proper COVID protocols and making sure that workers are safe and also making sure that any guests are safe. And yeah, so that's kind of a part of our ongoing work with Unite Here.
Yeah, again, I mean, it's just so important to protect our workers and make sure that they're safe. So thank you for adding that. I also wanted to ask you if you could give some more information on Clue and how people could maybe get involved with that, because your work is also very important.
Yeah, so we are a faith-based group, and we really work to bring in people from all faith backgrounds into this work. We really believe that all religions believe in justice, and so for people to kind of read their Bible, their Quran, and then take those lessons and put those into action. And so what we do is we walk alongside workers and their fight for dignity and justice in the workplace, and we make sure that they get fair contracts, that they get health insurance, like we heard how important that is today. And we do that by small actions here and there, but really by putting a face to bringing religious movements inside of the economic justice movement. And I'm sure we can add my email in there too. But I'm based in LA and in Santa Monica, and would love for anyone to join us in this work.
That's amazing. So thank you all so much again. The work you all do is super valuable, and I appreciate your time. So thank you so much.